Sparking Zero has lost 90% of his player base. Sparking Zero has lost 90% of his player base. Sparking Zero has lost 90% of its player base in just 1 month. Wow, that's insane. That's crazy. How? I thought the game was supposed to be the greatest Dragon Ball game of all time, the greatest Dragon Ball game of this year. It is, bro. It actually is. It's a really, really good game. But before I get into all that, I'm gonna just let y'all know right now, I'm gonna be talking. It's gonna be a yap session, like one long yap session. But at the same time, I feel like it's kind of worth talking about, so I'm gonna do it. I play a lot of games here. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero just so happens to be one of them. And when I see stuff like this, I kind of get annoyed because it's not the fact that this is misleading information. That's nothing new. It's the fact that there's people actually agreeing with it when it's just not true. So if you ever played any of these anime fighter games, then you will know, or fighting games really in general, that when it comes to the initial, let's say 1 month period of any fighting game, I may be able to stretch this in any game, but let's just keep it focused on fighting games. You have your initial hype period. Now in your initial hype period, you will have your peak player counts and whatnot. And then after that, it pretty much had to fall off because they're fighting games. And fighting games usually don't do very well in terms of retaining large amounts of players, because let's be honest now, it's not the most popular genre in the world. It's not. It's very niche. In my opinion, like the biggest fighting game were probably Mortal Kombat in terms of like popularity and when most people know exactly what you're talking about. And then runner up for that would be Tekken, or and you can't forget about Street Fighter too. Like Street Fighter is really, really popular, right? Or maybe like they're interchangeable. I'm not entirely sure, but those fighting games are games that I think the vast majority of people at least know of. But when it comes to like anime fighters, it gets like a lot more niche. Like if you were to go on the street and ask a person, hey, do you know what Dragon Ball Fighters is? They'd be like, what is that? Budokai Tenkaichi and all the other Dragon Ball games have solid fan bases as well, and they are known, but they're known within the niche community, at least in my opinion. It's kind of like the Souls games. Like, Souls games are big now, but Elden Ring definitely put the Souls games on the map. I feel like Sparking Zero is like the Elden Ring of Dragon Ball games. It brought in a lot of new people, which is a good thing. But at the same time, like no other Dragon Ball game has really done that, or really any other anime fighter game has done that the way Sparking Zero has done that. Not Storm, not Xenoverse, not Fighters, none of them have been able to do that. So as much people want to hate on Sparking Zero, like you gotta give Sparking Zero its flowers for the simple fact that it was able to put a lot of people on that wouldn't have played a game like that otherwise. So the only other game that had potential really was probably Jump Force, because Jump Force brought in a lot of anime communities all into one game. The One Piece, Naruto, Dragon Ball, and then other JoJo's, just everybody was on the wave for that until they weren't. Now, unlike your traditional fighting games, anime fighters are even more niche or nicher than that. Is that a word? We're using nicher. It's nicher than that. So when it comes to player bases hitting like 100,000 plus, that's just abnormal, like completely abnormal. Sparking Zero peaked at 122,000 people a month ago. That's more people than Tekken 8. And I feel like Tekken 8's fan base, in terms of the fighting game scene, is actually bigger than Dragon Ball's. To make it a little bit more comparable, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 all-time peak is 13,000 people. To put that in perspective, Xenoverse 2 in its entire lifespan have sold 10 million copies. And as of now, Sparking Zero has sold 3 million. 10 million copies, but you peaked at 13,000 players? Where all your players go? Maybe, and hold on, I'm just theorizing here, maybe out of that 10 million players, not all of them play on PC. Whoa, hold on. I think I might be onto something. They don't play on PC. They might play on, Xbox, or better yet, PlayStation. Now, by this point, it's like, well, why does any of this matter, right? These are just numbers. You're proving my point. Nobody plays these games. No, the point I'm proving is that these are all Steam chart statistics, PC statistics. These games are not played on PC. Now, that's the biggest thing that annoys me about when people agree with this, is that they think that the game fell off when the game fell off on PC, but it was never on to begin with. And then I see things like Steam charts are a great indicator on a game's player base. Well, it would be if the vast majority of your player base played it on PC, but in this case, that is not the case at all. PC is in the minority here. If I was to estimate how much the PC population makes up the entire player base. So if we do some quick math here, we would take the total of the 3 million copies that was sold to Sparking Zero and take the peak player base of 122,000 divided by that 3 million, and we'll get about 24%. I'll round up to 25%. So that means that 25% of the entire player base of Sparking Zero plays on PC. The other 75% of the players don't play the game on PC. If you want to see some dead games, Jump Force is a dead game. The JJK game is a dead game. No matter what platform you try to find those games on, you ain't finding nobody playing that game, bro. Those games are actually, I think they have like less than 100 people playing them. Sparking Zero is far from dead. I've always said buying Sparking Zero on PC is a offline experience. If you're gonna buy that game on PC, do not play online. So when I see people complaining about cheaters, laggy experiences, which is universal, I will give you that one, but mostly cheaters. Congratulations, this is what you get for buying the game on PC. It's like buying NBA 2K on PC and complain that like there's hackers and cheaters. What did you expect? You bought it on PC. There's actually a tweet I remember by Crex that he dropped before the game even came out. That essentially he was saying that PlayStation was going to have the vast majority of the player base and that Xbox and PC were going to be the minorities in that case. Now, I low-key got a little offended by this tweet because I all my Dragon Ball games for the past few years I have played on Xbox. And personally, I can tell you from a person that plays on Xbox, the lower player base in this case, I never at any point in time felt like that was the case, but this rant isn't about that. This rant is the truth of that tweet. That is true. Xbox and PC make up the lowest percentage of the overall player base of these arena fighters. And it's not like this just applies to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. It's all anime fighter games. Your Storm 4s, your Dragon Ball Fighters, your Xenoverse 1s, your Xenoverse 2s, Jump Force. The PlayStation is king across all platform player bases rule still applies. It doesn't matter what arena fighter game it is. But to be honest with you, I expect a lot of new people to know this. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is most likely a lot of people's first anime arena fighter in a long time, if at all. But if you've been in this space for a while, then you know that this has always been the case. PC has just been the modding option. If you're gonna, like I said, if you're gonna play one of these games on PC, you're most likely trying to mod it or you're having a single player experience. You were never playing this game as is on PC. At least I hope not. And if you were before, you should probably only be playing offline or with your friends. Or if you are gonna play online, just know that cheaters may be a possibility, and that's the risk that you take when you play the game on PC. Now, for the reason and why the player base declined so bad on PC, cheaters is like one big thing I'm seeing a lot of people talk about. And again, like I said, you're playing on PC and these games are never known to have the best security. Like, let's be for real for 2 seconds. If you see a game have mods in the first 3 to 5 days of its release, it can be hacked. It's simple as that. If you can mod a game, you can hack a game. Let's have some common sense here. But it is definitely a solid reason to not want to play the game anymore. I 110% understand that. Now, on the things that can be fixed, the controls, the input delay, all that, I 110% agree with y'all. That's one of the reasons why I don't have as much Sparking Zero content as I want on the channel at this point in time, because like those kind of issues are still persistent in the game and they still annoy me, and it's something that really makes the game annoying and a little less fun, because like who wants to sit up there and flick the stick like 40 times and the game just isn't getting your inputs, right? So the online experience is bad. It pretty much kills my motivation to play the game in general, and that's how I've been feeling lately, which is why I've been kind of chilling out on Sparking Zero. On top of that, I play other games. You know, there's other games you can play as well. Actually, a lot of you PC players have been exercising that right. That's why 90% of y'all decided to leave. But all jokes aside though, there's nothing crazy about the PC player base having to fall off. My last real point is that Bandai just announced essentially a worldwide Sparking Zero tournament. I think the concept is really cool. Each country and they're in the selected regions have like a character they have to use. I'm really interested in how that's going to go. I'm not good enough to actually try to participate in that, but I definitely will be watching. But the biggest thing about that is the fact that they put that on PlayStation. It is a PlayStation only event. I wonder why they chose PlayStation when PC apparently has such a big player base, right? No, they chose PlayStation because they know a vast majority of their players play on PlayStation, almost as if the PC player base was irrelevant. Interesting, right? Well, I've been talking for a long time, and this is a rant that I kind of just felt like doing because this is a game I really enjoy. I'm a Dragon Ball fan, and I love this game, and I hate to see this game kind of get dragged in the mud and act like it's irrelevant and it's trash when it just isn't. But I don't know, this is just kind of a dumb rant. But if you have any issues with Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, let me know down in the comment section. Like, what made you not want to play the game anymore? Was it the cheesers? Was it the cheaters? Is it the lack of content? Whatever your reasoning is for not wanting to play Sparking Zero anymore, I'm actually genuinely curious on why you stopped playing the game. And also, do you think PC should be the best indicator on the performance of a game, even in the event that the PC player base is not where the vast majority of players are playing the game at? Like, do you agree with that take? Do you disagree with that take? I want to know. But my biggest question is that if you were playing on PC or you play on any platform, did these kind of stats like deter you from playing the game? Like, are you playing the game because you want to play or your friends play it, or are you playing the game because the game is popular? Like, I'm just curious, like, where people stand on that. But just let me know in the comment section. This is an open floor. Just be respectful about it.